Oh no, picture this. You are on your job. You've been on this job for a while now. You think this job is just going to be a career. It's going to be forever. And you get called into the office and they say, hey, it's been good working with you. We appreciate everything you've done, but we don't need you anymore. And your heart drops from your chest down into your stomach because you thought that this job was so secure. You thought you were going to be able to live off of this job for forever. And now it's gone. And you have to start from ground zero, from square one. Today, I'm going to be talking to you about what steps you need to take in order to not get trapped in this situation. Because so many people are at a place where they nothing saved up, they have no retirement, they have nothing, no insurance, nothing. And it's a sad state, but I don't want you going through that. So we're going to talk about it today. But before we get into that, make sure that you drop a comment below. I want you to tell me what is something that you want me to cover in one of my next videos. What's something you want me to talk about? I read all the comments. I love reading the comments and responding to comments. So drop in the comments below. What is something you want me to talk about on one of my next videos? And I'll try my best to put it in there. All right, we're going to get into it. And I had a phone call with a friend of mine just today. And he and I were talking, and one of the things that we were talking about was how the company that he works for is laying off. They've already laid off 200 employees. His job right now is safe because of the particular industry or particular avenue that he's in. But many of the people in his company have been let go. And he was telling me how, just a few years ago, they were booming. Everything was going great. Now, all of a sudden, things are at a standstill, and they don't know what the future is going to hold for this business. And, we was talking about what the reason was, and this all comes down to the tariffs. Now, I'm not going to get into politics. This isn't a political channel by any means. But these tariffs that are now being thrust upon different countries, and it is making it harder for a lot of people that deal with shipping and receiving and imports. It's making it hard on them because now things can't just be imported back and forth. There are tariffs. And so this company is having to lay off a lot of people. And you might be next. If you work for a business, you work for a company, AI is taking over. Whether you like it or not, AI is taking over jobs. I'm not saying it's taking over every single job and your job is going to be gone tomorrow, but it is coming down the pike where jobs are going to go to AI. They're going to go more toward machines. And so what do you need to do in order to avoid some of these situations, layoffs and things? What do you need to do? Well, the first thing I would suggest that you do is when you're thinking about an industry or a job, or even a business to start, or whatever the case may be, you need to be thinking about what are some things that really, at least right now, AI can't just step in and take over. I'm a big advocate, proponent for the trades. We need more, electricians, plumbers, HVAC, all of that. We need more people that are in those fields. And if you get into any one of those fields, you're going to be set for a long time, especially electricians, because if AI is taking over, there's going to have to be people going in, managing these computers and different things. So get into the realm of, an electrician, or even, an IT, get into IT. information technology, because there are going to be people that are going to have to manage all these machines. And so get into one of those fields, get into one of those trades. And then the second thing I would suggest you do is make sure you have a plan. You know, we've talked about on this channel about the importance of having a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And so you need to make sure that you have a plan set in place. And many don't. Many people, I would say most people really, go through life, they have no idea what they're going to do next. They don't know, they don't have any plans for the future. They're just kind of blindly, going about things. You need to have a plan. You need to have, a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. You need to have some plans in place, and you need to follow those plans. You need to have some savings set up. Part of the plan is have a savings. Just like my friend was talking today, he said, he's got like a 6-month savings set up where if he were to lose his job, he has 6 months of his income set up where they can make it 6 months. And if you have 6 months of income saved up, if something does happen, you're good for at least 6 months. And within 6 months, you're probably going to find another job, or you're going to start a business or something, so that you will be able to, pay your bills and do what you need to do, right? So make sure you have a plan, make sure you have savings, and then also make sure that you are thinking about some ways to make money that don't involve a W-2 job. I have a W-2 job currently, and I love W-2 jobs. They have some benefits, a lot of benefits, but they also have the potential, there's a potential risk for losing it, right? And you may say, well, I don't like real estate because, a roof can break, or, a water pipe can break, and then I have, all this expense I have to pay out for this property. And I understand that, I get that. Rental property is not for everybody, but you should have some kind of investments, because let me tell you, a job is risky. Having a job is risky. This risk involved in having just a W-2 job. You need to have some different things, diversify, okay? So have a W-2 job, but also have, maybe some rental property, or have some stocks, have some money invested in stocks. Don't just have a W-2 job, because if all you have is a W-2 and you don't have something else to fall back on, if the time ever comes where your job is replaced or no longer needed, you're going to be sitting there saying, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So you need to have some other forms of income. Have a business on the side that you do, that if something happened to your job, you could kick it into gear and maybe do that more full time. Just have some other areas, some other forms of income, okay? One other thing is, make sure you have a plan for the future, that maybe where you're no longer in it. And you may say, well, I'm in my 20s or my 30s. I'm not worried about, life when I'm gone. I'm not worried about, what my kids are going to do, or what my, my wife is, or my spouse is going to do when I'm gone. But that should be on your mind. And you may say, well, that's morbid. I don't want to think about myself dying or whatever. You need to have something set up for the future that you're not in. And that needs to include, life insurance. It needs to include a will. It needs to include, the plan for if something does happen to you, what are you gonna do? Like, what is your family gonna do? You need to have a plan set up so that they're taken care of after you're gone. I have my rental properties, and my kids will inherit my rental properties when I'm gone. Whether they take them and sell them, or they rent them out, they continue renting them out, they live in them. When I'm gone, I don't care, but at least they have something that will take care of them for the future. So I hope that helps. Hope this video helped. I just want to share, like I said, this all stemmed from a conversation I had with my buddy today, and we were just talking about all these different things that, you know, you need to be discussing. You need a plan for the future. So I hope this helps, and I hope you guys have a great day. Make sure you comment below what it is you want to see in one of my upcoming videos. Give me some ideas, all right? And also, if you need help, if you want one-on-one coaching, make sure that you click the link below. It's going to pull up my calendar, and choose a time, choose a date and a time. I'll give you a 30-minute session. We'll talk about your goals, any plans that you have. We'll set up some goals and some plans. And then if you want continued help, we'll set that up too. All right, and I hope you guys have a great afternoon. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.